Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. I put together an incredible video for you guys and gals today. I really think you're gonna like this video, and I highly recommend you stick all the way through because this video is broken up into two parts. First part, we're going to be talking about how Indian investors purchased nearly 730 million ounces of physical silver since 2010. We're going to also apply that to what this might mean moving forwards, especially since India is part of the Brics nations. You know, all these countries coming together, basically kicking off the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, creating their own digital currency backed by physical commodities, gold and silver, including Russia, including China, India, especially since Indian demand has doubled in the past year. Russia all of a sudden bought boatloads of gold coming out of left field, and this all might be hitting towards what Andy Schectman has been talking about for the last several years. We're going to dive into that, but also we're going to be looking at an article. This is actually a chart breaking down silver and gold prices and why silver's looking a lot more bullish than people are giving credit to. And beyond that, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on that. A lot of people are very bullish on silver. I'm going to share my thoughts on what I think silver is going to do over the next year or two. And I'd love for you to also throw in your 2 cents. So you can see this is a jam-packed video with a lot of different conversation, discussion to spark. And I hope you all enjoy this. Now, as some of you may know, I'm doing a lot of giveaways over the next couple of months as we approach 100,000 subscribers. Analytics show that I will be hitting 100K around July, but we can make this a lot sooner than July. I'm going to be doing some massive giveaways. I'm talking about tubes of sealed eagles, 1 ounce gold coins, going to be given away. So if you want a chance to win some silver shipped straight to your front doorstep, make sure you click that subscribe button. May the luckiest stackers win. So today, January 25th, 2023, an article came out stating that Indian investors purchased nearly 730 million ounces of physical silver since 2010. So India's enduring affection for silver underscores the country's importance to the global silver marketplace. As the world's 6th largest economy and foremost silver fabricator, India also plays an essential role in silver and gold investment demand, historically recognized in the market as savings and investment assets due to the low penetration of banking and other financial products. See, today, with new investment products available to Indian investors, India's role in silver investment has the potential to grow even further. Remember, they just nearly doubled the amount they usually get. And you're seeing this with a lot of the countries in the Brics nations. All of a sudden, they're buying boatloads of silver. And nobody's really even catching on except for the channels like myself or Andy Schectman, since, Andy comes on my channel once a week with our show that we do. By the way, we had to skip this week's episode because Andy's in Canada at a conference, or we would have done it. We were supposed to today, but yeah, he's out of the country actually. So just stick to next week. And if you guys want to be caught up on what's happening with the Brics nations, I asked him to give a full update last week, and he told some pretty insane stuff that has to do with India and some other countries. But regardless, the proof is in the pudding. Right? The numbers don't lie. The proof is in the pudding. You don't have to debate. You can't debate this. You can't call this a conspiracy or a theory. This is right in front of our faces. And if you just take the time to do the research or look into the evidence, it's obvious. So a new Silver Institute market trend report, Trends in Indian Investment Demand, explores the main components across this market, including physical silver investment, ETPs, which also stand for Exchange Traded Products, digital silver, the futures market in India, and silver's prospects for being listed on the Indian International Bullion Exchange. The report, commissioned by the Silver Institute, was authored by Metals Focus, a leading precious metals consultancy based in London, England, with offices in key markets including India. So since 2010, India's physical silver investment, which is bars and coins, has accounted for 1/3 of overall Indian silver demand. During this time, Indian retail investors bought around 730 million ounces of silver, representing 90% of 2022's global silver mine production. Think about that, right? We're talking about the mining production's around 850 to 900 million ounces. That's tops per year. Per year. Demand exceeded 1.21 billion ounces this year, and we're talking about 2023. Experts say that we're going to see even higher demand, record-breaking demand, as supply has been diminishing, and demand is going to be booming over the next decade. Following 2 years of depressed buying, 2022 saw a healthy recovery in physical investment, jumping to 79.4 million ounces last year, the highest total since 2015. This growth has contributed to a record high for Indian silver imports, which surged last year to 304 million ounces, comfortably surpassing the 2015 record of 260 million ounces. A recent investment opportunity in India is Silver Exchange Traded Products, or ETPs, launched in September 2021. Currently, there are 7 ETPs in 5 silver ETP or ETFs, exchange traded funds, and that's as at the end of 2022, silver ETP holdings in India stood at an estimated 8 million ounces, a good start given the fact these products were only released in late 2021. In keeping with silver ETPs, digital silver products have also been newly launched in India. Although to date they have failed to gain traction among retail investors, digital silver allows investors to buy silver for a low price point depending on the platform. Digital silver represents another new chapter of silver investment in India, and already 9 companies offer these products in India, the report noted. And think about it. Digital silver with this new digital currency backed by physical commodities could potentially be traded for one another, traded in and out, just as the gold and silver standard, right? Our dollars, our fiat currency, that was just the medium of exchange, right? Our money was gold and silver, but instead of carrying around gold and silver, you had a silver certificate, or a gold certificate, which was basically like I just said, the medium of exchange to then transfer. Or a perfect example, constitutional silver, right? A mercury dime had 10 cents worth of silver inside of it. But now that our money isn't backed by gold or silver, we cut off the main means of what our money was and just left the worthless dollars floating around. But as Andy's talked about, the Brics nations are basically taking things into their own hands and using their new currency, this digital currency, that's going to be backed by something of actual value, which has a much better chance of surviving. Every fiat-based currency is going to fail. It lasts about a century. It's designed to fail, literally, because it's not backed by anything. So that means you're trying to get yourself out of debt by replacing it with more debt, because the money is only worth as much as people think it is. And as soon as people start to think the dollar isn't worth much, it literally isn't worth much. And this pandemic exposed how broke the United States truly is. The dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power. We're $30 trillion in debt. Now all these countries are opting out of the USD being their currency, which is extremely dangerous since it is the world's reserve currency. And you can see how the Brics nations doing this makes sense. I mean, it definitely makes sense for them, especially since, the United States has their fingers dipped into everyone else's pockets. Why not just cut the USD off and create your own currency? Which, given proof that that's exactly what they're doing. So Friday, I suggested metal bulls still have the power, and for gold, the evidence of that is yet another higher high made overnight. Yesterday morning, gold produced a false breakdown of the rising uptrend line shown on Friday as well, but prices promptly recovered to resume their uptrend trend. This could be taken as a bullish sign. And remember, whatever gold's doing, silver's going to do separate. Now let's check out silver prices today, actually. So We're looking at $23.91. This is the, let's look like at the 3-month chart. So you could see things are definitely looking like we're in an uptrend. If you want to go like the 6-month chart, it gives a better idea. You know, we had a lot of support around $17, $18, which means even if we see a huge rally, even if it did start to even if we do see a big sell-off, I doubt we're going to get below this $22 range. Since we're up at almost $24, you know, maybe it could pull back. Now would just be an opportunity to buy more silver for cheaper. But I think the days of $18 silver are gone. I think the days of mid $20 silver to almost $30 silver, maybe even a little above $30 silver, is the reality we live in now. And I think as prices keep going higher, people are going to be getting or become more desensitized to $30 and higher. Just like a prime example, the last decade, the average price of silver has been $15. So for someone like me that's been buying silver since 2014, 2015, $15 silver, you know, that's what we're desensitized at a much lower price. So when we see $24 silver, we're like, okay, that's nice. I remember the first time silver broke past $20, I celebrated. We celebrated on this channel. Yes, I've been making videos since 2016. The July 2016 high of $21 silver, I remember vividly on this channel when that happened. It was a big deal. Nowadays, $21 silver is nothing. That's actually extremely low. And that's because most people are desensitized to that $30 range when a lot of people got in during the Wall Street silver movement. So you can see how some people are desensitized at $30, some people are desensitized at $15. But regardless, whether you think $20 silver is high or low, that's irrelevant, because in the grand scheme of things, $20 is pennies for an ounce of silver. $30 is, I could even say that $100 is, especially when you look at what $100 US dollars is really worth nowadays, since the dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power and since fiat currency is worthless. And if you look at how valuable an ounce of silver is, even if you say $100 is a lot of money or that's expensive for an ounce, if you compare it with its actual value, I'm talking about what $100 can buy you and what $100 will be able to buy you in 5 to 10 years versus an ounce of silver's use, especially as it's becoming more scarce. It's a no-brainer. So yeah, we could dive into the part of the video where I talk about my thoughts on silver over the next year or two. I would love for you to comment down below what you think about this as well. I kind of already hinted towards what I think. I think 2023, we're going to see a lot of $30-ish silver. I think it's going to sit around $30, maybe $32 is definitely a price I could see it sitting at. It could go up to $35. I mean, there's a lot of things happening and a lot of people are bullish. I mean, I've covered probably 2-3 articles in the last week and a half where people are extremely bullish on silver. There was another article I just made the other day, or I covered the other day, talking about silver is going to hit 9-year highs this year, above $30. And I think that that's something that is more than likely going to happen. I'm not going to say silver is going to hit $50, but I definitely see that in the next 2 years. 3 years, I could easily, and this is why I say 3 years, because this is when I talk about triple-digit silver. A lot of people ask me when I think silver is going to hit triple digits, and I say by the year 2025, maybe 2026. It could be a lot earlier, given so many other variables that we cannot incorporate because we are not psychic. We don't have a crystal ball. The unknown variable is the most important variable. The 2024 elections are going to be happening next year. There's so many other factors. We don't know what the Brics nations are going to be doing. We don't know, there's so many other things. So you can't, any type of forecast or price prediction you hear, take it with a grain of salt. And if they say that they're confident in that price, then don't ever listen to that person, because that means that they're not incorporating the unknown variables and they're too confident. You cannot be too confident in a market like this, especially when you're talking about a market that is manipulated. And I hate to say that, but it is true. JP Morgan just got fined $900 million for manipulating the silver market. 3 of their employees got sent to prison for manipulating the silver market. This isn't a theory or a conspiracy. This is something that actually happens, and it's not just JP Morgan, it's Merrill Lynch and the Dutch Bank have all gotten caught, and I'm sure many other banks are doing it, and I'm sure a lot more than just those 3 employees have been doing it. But like Ted Butler has talked about as well in the past, the fundamentals will always outweigh any type of manipulation. You can try to throw money against silver, throw it in stocks or whatever the case is, but the fundamentals always outweigh. You got to remember, silver's price is pushed and pulled by all these different things, right? Stock market volatility, Bitcoin's price, what the dollar index is doing, yada, 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 gold, all these different things. Maybe stock market volatility affects the price of silver 10%. The dollar index affects it 60%, and Bitcoin's price affects it 7%, right? All these different things are pushing and pulling silver's price, but fundamentals always have the biggest effect on the price. Fundamentals always do. Low supply, high demand. Fundamentals take the longest, especially since we're not really going to see this massive supply deficit until, like I said, 2025, 2026, when I think silver's going to hit triple digits. See where I'm going now? I'm not just throwing out a year randomly. I'm not just picking a year out of a hat, right? There's very, very specific reasoning why I say that year. But I'm going purely off the fundamentals, where if you also incorporate the financial side of thing, the micro, not just the macro, it could be a lot sooner. So who knows? So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what your thoughts are on that 1 to 2 year price of silver. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. Make sure you subscribe if you want a chance to win some free silver shipped straight to your front doorstep. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.